that I was scared to death when I bought it. For one, it was a hardcore gym. Proposition of owning this hardcore bodybuilding gym when I'm not that big of a guy. I was in good shape, I had a good physique, but I wasn't like one of these big bodybuilders, and so I was actually scared. Are they gonna respect me? I'm not the biggest guy in a gym. It's kind of a hardcore gym, so it's kind of like the biggest guy rules. I didn't even know if they'd want to sell it, and they were like, yeah.
You took a gym that was $15,000 a month, and now would you say how much you roughly averaging a month in sales?
About
Welcome back to the Gym Owners Podcast with Anthony.
I'm Natalia. Welcome.
And today we have Brian Way from Iron City Gym. Thank you, Brian, for coming on. We wanted you on here because when you first started your club, it was a tiny itty bitty club and you kind of 10x'd it. So we wanted to have you on here, talk about your club, talk about what's in the future for Iron City Gym. So thank you for coming on, and tell us a little bit about yourself, how you got started, what made you buy your club.
Well, thank you for having me. Yeah, so I was here as a trainer at Iron City Gym. So I was working out here first as a member for about 5 years. You start getting into fitness and everybody's like, I want to own a gym. I want to be a trainer. I want to have this. And, everybody that gets really into it wants to explore it more and make it more part of their life. So I got certified as a trainer. Then I started taking on some clients. I was a trainer here. Then the prior owners, the opportunity kind of presented itself that they wanted to sell the gym and retire. I had the opportunity to buy it. I had another job that I was doing full time, borrowed some money out of my 401k. The opportunity was there. So basically I was a trainer here and developed a relationship with the owners. They were ready to retire. And so I bought it. Yeah.
Awesome. What would you say was the biggest, because I see this happening a lot where a trainer buys a gym, but they don't really know how to transition from, okay, this is how you make a training business work with my clients, but now have to transition over to a gym where you have to get involved with selling memberships, getting that monthly dues high. What did you guys do?
First of all, I'll say that I was scared to death when I bought it. So I'll say that. I did not think, for one, it was a hardcore gym. Okay. So, and I was a good trainer because I'm good with people. But the proposition of owning this hardcore bodybuilding gym when I'm not that big of a guy, I was in good shape. I had a good physique, but I wasn't like one of these big bodybuilders. And so I was actually scared. I didn't think that I'd be able to kind of do it. You know what I mean? I hate to say that, but I mean, that's kind of what I thought. I was like, you know what, but I think that's a common feeling, like that you're taking on something that you don't, gosh, I don't know if I can do that. You know what I mean? Are they going to respect me? I'm not the biggest guy in a gym. It's kind of a hardcore gym. So it's kind of like the biggest guy rules kind of thing. And so these are the different fears that I kind of had, and as I think people can relate to that. So I guess I was nervous about it. I didn't really know if I'd be able to, but went ahead and did it. And first of all, I didn't even know if they'd want to sell it. And they were like, yeah, we would love to sell it. And, we'd love to sell it to you. You're a great guy and I think you'd do good at it. And I'm like, okay, yeah. I think I would too, even though I was a little apprehensive about it. So, man, I just figured it out. It's just kind of like the same way, you guys are a great resource, so I really just kind of do the old business model, bring in people. I bring in the right people for everything, just have a vision. I think everybody goes somewhere and goes, if I had this, I could do it like this. Or if I walked in your house, I'd be like, man, I really like this house, but I would paint this wall this color, or I would probably move this here. I think everybody has that ability. So, and that's always how I was. A lot of people are like that. Everybody thinks that, I would do this way. And half the time, you realize, well, it's not as easy as you think. But, I think I rely honestly on a lot of people that are smarter than me in the areas that I don't know how to do something. And I bring them in and create a team. And all I have to do is just put the right people in the right spot and have the vision.
Sure.
So that's kind of what I did, to be honest with you. So I don't know all the answers to everything, but I have a pretty good gut about people, and I can recognize talent and just bring in the right people to make it work. But of course, in the beginning, you don't really have money, so I really don't have money to do it all. But I I brought in other people that were starting out too. So
Gotcha.
I really think along the way, everything from my media guys to people that I worked with, it's like I didn't hire a big company to come in and do, electrical work. I hired a small time guy, you know what I mean? And then, but it's definitely all about surrounding yourself by the right people.
Would you also say that switching it like to being more family, instead of being hardcore bodybuilding and switching it more to like, hey, this is a place for everybody, this family friendly, has been like an aid to helping you 10x your gym?
It has. So we're still edgy. So this gym still has an edgy vibe, but we definitely changed it, and that was definitely number one on my list, was to change the market base and broaden it from just hardcore bodybuilders to be able to make people feel comfortable that they could come in here, because people would see it like, man, that looks like a cool place, but I'm not ready to go there. It looks intimidating. Just like I was intimidated to buy the thing myself. So I understood that. And you know what? I think I was able to pull from my own experience and how I felt in a gym. And that kind of goes into a lot of the way I run the gym, because we have a lot of fitness people in Houston, a lot of really great physiques here, and people that it was kind of cliquey almost. So I was like, I don't want to feel like how I used to feel going into a gym, where I wasn't like part of this crowd, or I wasn't an elite or a pro or something like that. You know what I mean? So, and it was like, because I was trying to get into that world, but I was like a newcomer, and I could feel that with people,
Mm-hmm.
And so I was like, I don't want that to perpetuate that in my gym, because I know what that feels like. The elite people won't talk to you, kind of thing. So that's kind of been my platform, honestly. And it's worked, because it's kind of weird how they always say, it starts from the top and the vibe goes down, the owner or whatever. And it's like some magical thing of how that works, but it does. So it's kind of like you set the tone of your business, right? You set the tone. So because of how I was, and because all of a sudden when I became the owner, I became ranked up there with all the elite people, right? Because I'm the owner, you know what I mean? But because I'll take the time to talk to everybody and make everybody feel special and valued. And I've even had, meetings with my training staff and be like, hey, Arnold didn't become Arnold because he was too big of a big deal, or he got annoyed if someone came and interrupted his workout. He was always charming. He was always charismatic. He'd always smile and talk to everybody. And that's how he became Arnold. You know what I mean? He wasn't like an elitist type of mentality around everybody, because we wouldn't be here if you didn't have the fans, or if you don't have the customers. So I think I just took how I always felt about things and decided, well, now I have a platform and now it's my business, so I'm going to change that and set the culture here. So the culture of the gym has always been a real big high priority to me. And I think that really caught on, especially in the beginning. And I always treated the customers, like if I ever had a customer that couldn't, pay his monthly rent, I would talk to him back, well, what's going on? He'd be like, man, I just lost my job and this and that. I'd be like, but I see you in here every day. I mean, fitness is pretty important to you, right? And he's like, yeah, I mean, it's what keeps me sane and stuff like that. He or she, or females too. And I would say, well, like, you know what? Look, just you stay. I'll take care of this membership. When you get back on your feet in a month or two, then you can start paying the dues again. You know what I mean? And I think by doing that, just anything I could to set this culture and this vibe, especially in the beginning, that's like it catches on. You know what I mean? What they're about over there. That's what I did.
I caught two things that you just said, which are important, that are worth repeating. You used to physically work there and work out there yourself. So you knew the things that most people in the gym or yourself were talking about that should be fixed or should be painted or should always be cleaned. And you got those things done. So you actually believed in what you were selling because you made those changes yourself. So That's A, that I picked up what you just did. So, and the other one is having meetings with your teams. That is so incredibly important because so many gym owners will just buy a place, put equipment in it, put some bodies in there and expect, things to get done and then complain when the person's on their cell phone all day or not making sales. You can only expect what you inspect. So if you're not having meetings or setting numbers for people or have a certain set of guidelines for your people to follow, it's going to be willy-nilly. So just from what you were saying, I picked up two things of extreme importance that you said, which I know helped with, with growing your club. And like you just said, culture. You're an in shape dude. If you're feeling intimidated, how do you think the person that hasn't worked out in 3 years is going to feel when they're walking in, they need to lose 50 pounds or whatever? So by you changing that culture up, dramatic change. So awesome job all the way around there.
I remember you telling me, Brian, like you're a musician and you can't see all your fancy guitar collection behind you, but he has a lot of really nice guitars back there. And look at that. And I remember you saying, like, as a musician, you draw inspiration from other artists, but you make it your own. And you made your gym your own. You drew inspiration from other gyms, but really it's uniquely what you envisioned. And so I think that's really cool that you brought in what you wanted the experience to be like for your members. And that's a passion for you. And then that's why they love working there. And what you said about leadership starting from the top is crucial. But the thing is, it's your space and you love how it looks, so much so that you live there sometimes. And so I think that's really cool that you live there all the time. And so your staff or your employees are going to see that passion. I feel like it's lead into their passion for your club. So that's really cool. And I think that's probably the huge reason why it's expanded the way it has, because of your passion. That's for your club.
I think so. It's kind of like when we talked the other day, and I always said, like, if you're going to open a cookie store, you should love cookies. Like the guy who owns that chocolate chip cookie company, like that dude, I expect that he like when he's at home, you should love cookies. Like you have no business owning a business. It's kind of like you approach it from two angles. One, I'm just trying to make some money and pay the bills. Okay, great. It's not going to do as good as somebody as, that cookie guy who just absolutely loves cookies and is just crazy about them. I really haven't paid myself that much here. Now I'm lucky because I have another job, and this turned into my working on my second career that now is taking off, and now I'm setting myself up. But because I had the financial leeway to not have to take a big owner's pay, I've been able to reinvest a lot into this. And it is as cliche as it sounds. I even hate saying this, but I kind of don't do it for the money. It's the truth. I mean, do I want to get paid? Yes, of course. I mean, at the end of the day, you want to get the fruits of your labor kind of thing. I mean, it is a business. You do work your butt off all the time, 7 days a week, pretty much. But I do it because I think it's super cool. I'm into it. I do love it. And that's the way I approach it. When I walk in the gym, I look at it like if I pretend like if I was in a new city and I walked in a new place, and I'd be like, wow, this is really cool. Check this out. And then I'll look in the corner and find something, you know what? But I don't like that. Do you know what I mean? And then, so I'm always looking at it in that angle. What's the music like? What's the vibe? What does it look like here? What's the arrangements? What's the lighting? What's the, all those kind of things. But that's the angle I approach it. It's most definitely a passion project for me, because a good friend of mine told me this too. You put yourself into it. It's a reflection of what's inside you, and that's the manifestation of it on the outside. To me, it's a piece of artwork. It's a piece of passion. It's also what it does to people functionally, in their life. It means a lot. Like Anthony, is probably a better businessman than me. I can tell by talking to him, and I have a lot of respect for that. So I would want someone like Anthony on my team. You know what I mean? Because I'm kind of the vision guy. I walk in and I'm all about what's it feel like in here? What's it feel like? What is it? How does it make me feel? And I approach it from that level. You know what I mean? But it's worked. It's like, then that's the space I occupy in this gym. And, and then there's the other side that I'm still learning how to do better at, which is, the business side of the house, the numbers. I do well at it, but it's something that I have to force myself to learn that because naturally I'm more of the creator.
Yep. And you lead by example, which is the number one thing of where I think a lot of gyms, like most people sing this and they're like, well, okay, what he's saying is kind of what you're doing. You took a gym that was $15,000 a month. And now would you say how much you roughly averaging a month in sales?
About 130.
130. Yeah. So you more than 10. Yeah. So that just goes to show you when you lead by example. If you're just going to open a gym, never going to show up there. Yeah. It takes a lot more to get to $130,000 because if there's no one leading by example, hey, that's the owner and they're actually cleaning up or helping wipe down the equipment and do that.
Yep.
And if you do it, employees will follow your example. They're going to do what you do. If they see that you're not there and you don't care, they're going to be on Instagram all day. And it's going to be a constant saying, why are you on your phone? No, be on your phone. And when you lead by example, they just inherently just do the right thing.
That's super important. I love to make it a point to go out there and clean the machines and stuff like that because I know that they see that. And then that's the same thing I tell my staff is, hey, I want the gym members to see you doing it. There's a lot of value there. And I always tell my employees, I'm like, anything I'm asking you to do, I guarantee you I've done it many times. I've done anything that I've asked you guys to do. I have done it. Everything from scrubbing the toilets to scrubbing floors. I mean, I've come out of here completely covered in dirt and sweat. And so it's like, I've never asked anybody to do anything that I haven't done at least 10 or 20 times before. So, I know all the ins and outs of the business and that's important too. You got to know everything. So it's a lot different than a guy the manager who would walk in, more corporate in the button up and stuff like that and just goes around, like I think they know that I've done all this stuff. And then I'm not like an IFBB pro or anything like that because we've got a lot of pros here, but I have competed 4 times and I was a trainer and I was a coach. So because I have that knowledge base, I think that's important to have the knowledge base to deal with everybody so you can speak everybody's language and they'll respect you. You know what I mean? Granted, I've never made it to a pro status or anything like that, but the trainers know that I've competed. They know that I used to train people and they know that so they can respect me in that way. And I think that's important too.
You think that would be your biggest piece of advice to like a new gym owner, as far as like just having that wealth of knowledge first and then going from there? Like, what would you say? What would you tell a new gym owner to get to the level that you're now with all of your experience?
I would just say, make it yours. Be you and make it yours. It's your vision. It's your expression. Don't try to just copy what somebody else does because the world doesn't need another LA Fitness or another Iron City for that fact. You know what I mean? Like that's what I do. You're not going to do it as good as I do. And I'm not going to do what you do as good as you do. So I mean, quite simply put, I would say, make it authentically you. It's like the best thing you have to sell the world is you. I remember watching, it was a podcast, I think that I was watching about this lady who was a realtor and she was like trying to close deals. And I'm going to say the story because I think it's so true with me too. And it's kind of like, she's like, I knew every kind of deal, she's like, I knew everything you could know as a realtor. And she said, but I wasn't closing any deals, so I was going to quit. And she said, but so the last day, I had one house to show, so I was going to go ahead and do it. She goes, but I didn't even care anymore because I was already going to quit. She says, so I picked that person up and went to show him the house. And she said to herself, I'm not going to do any sales pitch. I'm not going to do any of my, all my different formulas that I know. And she was just her. So she just decided to be herself. And so she just talked to the person and acted like, hey, let's go look at this house, this and that, and left all the professional sales stuff out the window. And she sold the house like that. And so the moral to the story was that she was authentically her. You know what I mean? She just brought her. And that's like, I think the best thing you have to sell is yourself. So maybe I have successfully just been authentically me. And, some things, and I've gotten some flack, some things I've done, some people have not liked, like, don't do that, because it's been outside the box. But overall, the marketplace has rewarded it. And I've done what I thought was cool, what I would do. And I just, and I had the guts to do that. And so I think I can attest that that's a
way to do it.
That works.
It's the number one. When somebody comes into your facility, the first thing they do, you only have one time to make a first impression. You have to sell yourself, right? Mm-hmm. So people buy from people they like. I don't care how good your gym is. If the person that's showing them around is a jerk, they're not going to buy. I don't care how good your gym is. So people buy from people they like. So you're 100% correct. Sell yourself, and then give a tour of the facility and sell what it is that you're selling. Show the facility, but believe in what you sell.
Yeah, be authentic. Just be authentic. Yeah.
Be yourself, be authentic, and you really have to believe in what you sell, because it comes across. If you're just saying things because you wanted your salesperson to say these things, that's way different than somebody that's like, hey, check out these new treadmills we have. They have a silicone flex deck on them. So this way you really don't get shin splints your first couple weeks back into the gym. Like, you can see that they're taking pride in the facility. They're believing in it. And it will come across tenfold when you're making those sales. Mm-hmm. I did want to ask, and I don't know if Natalia, you're down for this. You're on a cell phone, right now?
Yeah.
Can you take us on a little tour of your club and show us your club?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, absolutely.
If you have any specialized equipment that you think sets yourself apart.
No, we do have some cool new equipment. That's for sure. Yeah.
Awesome.
But see, that's what I've done here. So Iron City is a hardcore gym, but here's the other thing. We all know this. Bodybuilders don't make you money. However, I need to pay the bills, and I couldn't have grown the facility and have the equipment that we have without, somebody's got to pay for it, right? And at the end of the day, I'm probably going to get paid too. But even though that's not my approach to it just quite yet, but bodybuilders don't pay the bills. Bodybuilders set the atmosphere. Bodybuilders create the authenticity of the gym. You know what I mean? But they don't pay the bills. So my whole approach is like, I've got to be able to have other people be able to come here and feel comfortable, but yet keep the bodybuilders happy too, because I want them here because they create that authenticness of the gym. They bring in the knowledge. They bring in, wow, look at that person over there working out that looks amazing. And that, and if someone can come in the gym and feel comfortable and love the gym, and that person's over there too, and you got it's kind of like I always said, if I wanted to learn, boxing for cardio, I could go to a little boxing place where it's just a bunch of suburban mom and dads. But what if I could go to a boxing place where they actually have pro boxers train there? So it's like, man, this place is the real deal. Because then when I go tell my friends about it, I'm going to say, man, look at this gym that I go learn boxing at. Like this guy trains there and this guy trains here, but yet I can go train there too. And I don't feel like I can't. They have it appropriate for me. So that's kind of like how Iron City is. Like, there's pros here. There's people that you're gonna be like, whoa, but yet you don't have to be on that level to come here. So it's like a balance. It's a balance of keeping the pros happy and giving them everything they need, but yet be able to accommodate everybody else without making it
intimidating.
A cheesy commercial gym.
Yeah.
I'm glad you said that, because there's going to be some people who are like, well, you could make money doing bodybuilding. Okay, yes, there's that 1% chance if you have a $500,000 following where people are buying your training and stuff like that. But here we have a gym owner, $130,000+ in volume the gym is making, and he's telling you bodybuilding it didn't bring in the money. Like, you have to get everybody in. There's a lot more normal people or average people than there are bodybuilders,
But it's like a balancing act. Keep it authentic, keep it a badass gym, but yet bodybuilders don't pay the bills. So, I've lost a few of the bodybuilders, unfortunately, but I knew I might lose a couple of them, because if you have a little hardcore bodybuilding gym, it's just going to stay a little small hardcore bodybuilding gym. And that's fine if that's what you want to keep it, but you're not going to be able to grow it much, because they're just not going to. There's not enough. They're just not going to pay the bills. There's not enough of them. Plus, I give my IFBB pros free memberships here.
Wow.
So they definitely don't pay the bill. I don't make any money off bodybuilders. Bodybuilders to me are what set the atmosphere and make the gym badass. But that's what they're for.
Wow. That's awesome. So that was one of your tips to like keep that type of like by keeping it family friendly, but also keeping the bodybuilders. One of your things is like a trade out where you give them like you're their sponsored gym. If they compete, maybe they have to like, but if they do compete, do they wear like an Iron City gym shirt or something like that?
Yeah, if I sponsor them, I've sponsored people before. We have like sponsored athletes, and yeah, we either I sometimes pay their entry fees, or just cut them a check for a show to help with their expenses. And yeah, I give them apparel and stuff, and they naturally will already do it. And then if I have somebody come in that's like a pro or anybody that I deem to be like celebrity status, I see how many followers they have. I give them like free VIP membership, and I always just ask them, hey, I really appreciate if you guys tag us, on social media. And they already know the drill, and they're like, oh yeah, absolutely, we'll tag you. I'll say thanks, appreciate that. And I always go talk to them and I hand them shirts personally and stuff like that. And all my staff knows to kind of pay attention to who comes in and stuff like that. And we have influencers come in now, so we like that too. That's exposure. So
absolutely, that's free. Yeah, absolutely. Get as much as you can. People following. I would be putting signs on the mirrors with like a hashtag Iron City Gym. So when people take their gym selfies, they see they're at your gym. All that stuff. I mean, and I like what you said also, like, because I usually tell when I first time gym owners and they tell me, oh, I'm doing a bodybuilding gym or a strength lifting gym, I'll ask them a question. Are you doing this for a hobby, or are you doing this to try to make the most money you can? Because they're both two totally different things where if you want it for a hobby, make a little bit of money, absolutely go for it all day long. And there's somebody out there like, oh, you could make money doing that. Yes, you can, but you have to work so much harder to make money with like a specialty type of club than if you were to have a club that is for everybody. And I love the way that you balance that both, because that is probably the hardest thing where I probably couldn't even give advice on where how you put that all in one and make it successful.
A cool formula that you got there, because like you said, you're still able to cater to the essence of the gym, which was that kind of bodybuilding feel, but you've grown the club like immensely. So it shows like people that anybody would still love working there, and they can, but the bodybuilders are still there too. So, I mean, that's something like that. A lot of gyms, they haven't found that formula that like, it's like almost like a puzzle piece and piecing it together. But clearly it's worked for you because of how big, your gym has grown.
And I have relationships with them too. So I make sure that I have relationships with my key people, you know what I mean? And I take care of them too. Yeah. So yeah, I think that's important too.
What would you say is in the future for Iron City Gym to expand even more, but to continue your growth? Is it more clubs? Is it different equipment? What's in the future?
So, man, I'm not done with this one yet. We're putting in a smoothie shop right now. We're expanding the apparel line. And I want, when I finish this one, when we put a nice bow on it and cap it off, and I deem that this one is done, because this one has to be the main original Iron City. It's kind of a destination place now. I want to make it, where when you come to Houston, man, I want to check out Iron City Gym. So once that's done, then I don't know. I mean, really just trying to grow the brand, because we're hosting a bodybuilding show this year. So on September 17th, we're doing an Iron City Classic. That's a risk. That's a business risk that we're taking. It may or may not pay off financially, but if I lose money on it, I'm okay with it, because it's promoting the brand. It's brand awareness. So I'm okay with that. We're actually hosting a show that's coming up. We're putting out a lot of media for it right now. You should check out the video that we just made where it looks like a circus. Did you see it?
No, I haven't seen it. I'll have to check it after this.
Gotta check it out. So I have fun with the media, because I like to create like cool, like edgy, like entertaining stuff. Even the bodybuilding show that I'm doing, I'm recalling from my personal experience about what it's like both to compete in a bodybuilding show and as a spectator. And I have a lot of opinions on it. So, I'm like, well, so now that I have a platform to do my own, I'm going to change some of those things. And even if it means I have to rewrite some of the rules where people are like, well, no, you can't do it that way, I'm going to be like, well, I'm going to.
Good.
Because I feel this way about it. And I also have a little bit of streak in me that, when someone says something, I'm like that, well, the hell you can, I'm going to do it. You know what I mean? So, so I definitely I love opportunities to get outside the box. Like, oh no, this is the way it's done. Well, I'm going to change that. You know what I mean? Because now I get to do something, you know what I mean? And so, and that's a risk, right? People might be like, yep, he does not know what he's doing. That is not the way that's run. Or other people will be like, man, I think this is the way we should do it now. That's awesome. You know what I mean? So even the venue, we're doing the venue, everybody does bodybuilding shows and conventions and hotel lot things and stuff. We're doing it in a club, a nightclub where they have concerts, because I'm like, man, if I want to be on stage, it's like, this is your chance to get on stage. Like there's something in you that makes you want to compete. This is your rock star moment. So I'm going to put you on a stage with these big speakers and lights, and it's going to look freaking awesome to be on that stage. You know what I mean? So I'm going to create that moment for everybody and make it as dynamic as I can. And then also, I've always thought that bodybuilding shows were quite boring to attend. Honest with you, when your friend gets up there, you're all into it, but then the rest of the time you're just sitting here watching these guys turn to the right, turn to the left, and it's kind of boring. You know what I mean? So I'm like, I got to change that. I got to make it more dynamic. I got to make it more entertaining.
That's 100%. But I will say this: bodybuilding is growing way more than the past couple of years. It is growing. But to get your name out there you have to be on social media. You have to be on everything, and what you guys are doing. What would you say is the hardest or easiest part? And what social media is your main platform that you would advise for gym owners to use?
Well, we're big on Instagram right now, but I'm pretty sure TikTok is where we need to migrate to a lot more. So because a lot of the young people in my gym, I'm like, hey, how'd you find out about us or whatever? If I talk to them and they say, oh, you're on TikTok. And I'm like, well, we don't even have a TikTok.
Wow.
And they're like, well, you're all over TikTok from just people coming here. So I'm like, cool. So.
Wow. That's awesome. Yeah. And so you're thinking about maybe doing a TikTok where I usually tell a lot of gym owners that have no social media, I at least tell them at least have an Instagram or a Facebook. And you don't have to be crazy. It could just be, this is this machine, this is how it works, or, and just giving a tour of the facility. You have to be active on that to let you know. So you're not even active on TikTok and they found you on TikTok. Yeah, that would tell me we have to make, I'm not a proponent of TikTok, but I would say, yes, we need to make a TikTok for sure.
So I would say this for people like, how did he do the medias? I would be like, you got to be real with yourself. If you know how to make good TikToks, then you can run it. If you're not cool enough to make good TikToks, because let's face it, look, I'm old now. I'm 46. So I have to look at things and go, look, I don't really know. I still think I'm a pretty cool guy, but I might not do what the younger kids do and this and that. So you got to be like, look, am I really cool enough to run the TikTok? I don't know. If I'm not, I'm going to find that person that is, right? Again, I surround myself with people that are better than me and smarter than me. I have the vision, but I might not. So I'm going to let them do it. And honestly, my members now make all my social media. I repost them, and so they're making awesome videos. I'm like, God. And so I'm looking for talent. So I know that the guy that I'm working with now that does my videos, he's just a guy that was doing it, making cool videos. Because I mean, these younger generations, they're great at it, right? They're really good. So I saw his videos that he was making my gym just for his personal videos, and I walked up to him. I was like, bro, your videos are sick, man. That is fire. He's like, really? Do you think so? I'm like, dude, yes. I'm like, your videos are freaking awesome. I love the music on it. I like the vibe. And it's like, and then of course I'm speaking that into him, and he's like, and because I'm the owner, he's like, okay, cool. So I'm like empowering him, and I'm like, dude, will you make videos for Iron City? He's like, heck yeah, dude, I would do it. And so like now I pay him to do videos. And so it's kind of like I'm always on the search for the talent and who's cool. Cause I mean, I might be cool in a certain kind of way, but all these guys is what makes me cool. You know what I mean? I'm looking for them. You know what I mean? So I would say, yeah, if you want to do that, so you got to like really be like, hey, is this what I'm good at? You know what I mean? Because I know what I want. But I'm creative with videos, but I can't create them myself. So I go find the video guys that are really good and the ones that I like their style. And then I bring them in and then I talk to them and just really plant that seed in their brain. I have a really conversation about, let's do this. And I want it to look like this. And what about that? Like you're directing a movie and then they make it happen. Then they can do it. You know what I mean? So sometimes I'm very hands-on about directing something. And then other times I just tell them, hey, man, just go do your thing. You know what I mean? Just go do your thing. Give me some footage of this, or give me a footage of kind of showing the facility and give it this kind of vibe or whatever.
But can you re-upload someone else's TikTok to share it?
Yeah, see, like like if you were asking Anthony, and I'd be like, bro, you don't know TikTok. So obviously, if you were asking me how to make a TikTok, I would just be like, I think you should have somebody else make it for you. You know what I mean?
No, what I'm saying is like, I'm
There's nothing wrong with that, but
go ahead. Sorry.
yeah. No, I was just gonna say that would be the great answer, because if people are asking how to do a TikTok, then I would be like, you should have somebody make it for you. You know what I mean? Have that girl that works at the front desk who's been making TikToks since she was 14, have her make the TikToks for you. You know what I mean?
That's what I was just going to say was, for those owners that don't want to make TikToks, I just, there's two options. Let the front desk be in charge of it, which if you have front desk girls, they'd be more than happy that they're not just sitting behind a desk, or they're not on their own TikTok page, right? Now they're on the gym's TikTok page. So that's one option. Another option that I was just thinking about was, you know, like you have a bunch of apparel there. I would have a contest like, hey, if we reuse your TikTok video, we give you a free Iron City shirt or something like that. So this way you have a whole bunch of people in the gym making TikToks that even if you don't use them, they're out there now, uploaded TikTok videos of Iron City Gym, but the content's made for you because you pick out the best one, you give them a free t-shirt.
I mean, I think that's a great idea, but you also have to remember that everybody wants to be promoted anyways. So it's like, you give them the t-shirt, give them the stuff, make it even more incentive, but everybody wants to be promoted. So it's like, it's naturally a symbiotic relationship with someone who's making videos and because if I use your video on my platform and I post you,
it's like a shout out.
We're promoting each other. Everybody, you know what I mean? Like, I'm very appreciative of everybody who makes videos with my logo, but they also know that I'm going to repost you and post you. So we're all promoting each other. It's as organic as it gets. And it's like, it's authentic and it's real. Yeah.
I love that.
Okay. Awesome. I wanted to go over training because even though that the amount of money that the gym's already making, there's still room to even go higher, because tell us a little about your training and maybe what you plan on doing it to make even more money with training.
Yeah, so right now we still have the platform where all the trainers are independent. And I think that worked well when the gym was small. But now as it's gotten bigger, not only is there the legal stuff that we were talking about earlier and all the liability and having these trainers in here that are completely independent, doing whatever they want. But yet if something happens, I'm on the hook for it, kind of, because people perceive that they work for me, even though they don't. And, you know, then we just have a lot of people now that are coming through the doors and then just ask the question, hey, you know, do you guys have trainers here? And when they're independent, I have to just say, yeah, you know, we have a bunch of them. You just have to contact them and find out what their availability and rates are. And that's so loosey-goosey that I'm just like, man, we're probably losing so many clients by just saying, yeah, there's a table over there with their cards on it. Just go, you know, pick one and contact them, and hopefully they'll call you back. And if not, I don't know, I guess you'll go to the next gym. It's like standing right there in my face as such, like an opportunity that we're losing because we can't facilitate the sale right then and actually meet their need right there. You know, so that's where we're at right now. We're definitely, that's like high on my agenda list, where we can actually sell personal training out of here. But I don't believe it can be accomplished by having independent trainers, because legally I can't. That's for one, I can't really. If I was to advertise my independent trainers on the website, that's sort of giving people the perception that they work for me. And then if something goes south, I'm setting myself up to lose my butt on that. You know what I mean? So I think the only solution is now that if I want to actually meet people's needs in a better way, actually facilitate that, they almost need to have trainers that work for me. So what I'm trying to do right now is I want to be able to have my independent trainers and then I want to have the trainers that work for us. And my independent trainers, I'm going to put them in a category where they're more specialized. They're really going to be my coaches, my bodybuilder coaches and stuff like that. General training, people that want to just come in and learn how to work out and stuff like that. I think we're going to take care of that in-house. So that's where we're at right now.
Okay, awesome. And that's crazy that you brought that up, because if you're seeing that where someone's coming in and asking for training, that is mind-boggling, because normally if you sell training at point of sale, if you hit 20% to 30% sales training per new member unit, so 3 out of every 10 people that walk the door, that's like the standard to shoot for. And if you're hitting it, you are a god of salespeople, or your business. The fact that you're just not even trying to sell training and people are coming in like, hey, I want to buy training, and you're having to see that money just go bye-bye in hopes that somebody else, that's disheartening. It's nobody ever wants to see money that I could have had right there, like, go away. And the other thing that you said was having your own in-house trainers. It's your rules. They're going to represent the gym exactly how you want.
That's right.
Independent trainers aren't a bad thing, but I think you kind of have to be really out there and showing that they're independent. Like, I wouldn't advertise them on my website. I would just put independent, trainers available or something, just so there's no association. So you're not on that hook. But you kind of have a mixture as well.
Yeah, so I think that, and I know that you're going to probably agree with me instantly. You have a lot more experience running gyms than I do, but training is the biggest, it's the hardest area. Do you agree that's one of your toughest departments? Yeah,
that's why a 30% closing rate for training is considered like God tier salesperson, and not like we're a membership. You should be closing at 80%. 8 out of every 10 people walking through your door should be leaving with a membership. Whereas training, it's 30% closing. So it is a lot harder, but I can tell you, if you sell training, you don't sell the membership first. You always sell personal training first, sell membership second. Because even if they don't buy the personal training, you went through the whole process in explaining how your training works at your facility. You give them a tour. Even if that person doesn't buy training, they're at least getting a membership, right? Yeah. So it works hand in hand with that. And it also keeping your members there for life. If you're going to come into my gym and I sell you personal training, whatever your goals are, once you get to those goals, or you see yourself starting to get to those goals, you're not going to quit the gym. But people that sign up and buy a membership and pay 6, 7, 8 months of dues and don't come, they end up quitting the gym. So your retention ends up being like way better with having training attached to a membership. Even if they only buy 1 5-pack for the life of their membership, they're going to remember how to work out and use that membership.
Yeah. So that's where we're at right now, Anthony. It's like I know I need to be having some conversations with you, and that's, because that's where we are. I've created a cool gym, and I've got the people coming through the door, and we sell them. Like you said, selling the gym membership is easy. I would say 8 to 9 out of 10 people that come through my door get a gym membership. I mean, they're already here. I already know the place is a cool gym. I know it's a good gym. I made it that way. I mean, but as far as what you're talking about, the retention and selling them the training, that's where we're at right now. So that's what I'm wanting to do is learn those kind of techniques from you and from people that have, again, I bring in people that know more about these areas than I do, and I can identify with it myself. I don't really know how to do that, or else I'm not that I couldn't figure out how to do it, but I haven't really addressed that because I've been spending all my time building a gym. Yeah. I've been spending all my time with the vibe and the culture and building a gym and the media and the marketing. But now I need to look at some of the numbers and some of the retention and that kind of stuff. And that's where I need to know what you know, or I need to start implementing those kind of things, because there's a lot of money on the table that, I mean, I think you would walk in my gym and be like, dude, you got like extra 50 grand here every month. Probably, and I'm like, yeah, I know, but I'm too far over here in like La La Land creating new toys. You know what I mean? So it's like, that's why like a guy like you and me we'd be like a great team. You got to have that. You got to have those different people. You know what I mean? Unless you're just everything, which I doubt. If you're everything, you're super great at one of the, you know what I mean? Nobody's everything. You know what I mean? That's how companies grow. It's like, you got to have a team, we all get together and
sure.
do our stuff. So
I think if you take your own, if you listen to what other people do about selling training, yes, it's going to put you in the right direction. But taking your own advice of what you said, believing what you're selling and selling what you want, like having different categories of sales. Like if you want do bodybuilding competition, we have that. If you want just toning and firming, we have that. If you have a son or daughter that just wants to become better at the sport they're enrolling in school, we have sport specific training for that. As long as when somebody comes in, you show them, hey, we got something for everybody of whatever you're trying to get into. We have that. And you're coming across as genuine, as you're sincere in wanting to help them, and that you believe in it, selling training becomes so much more simple. If you're just reading off of a thing or have a speech that you're training other people to say, they immediately see that. Yes, you're going to have your laydowns that buy training, but you're going to have so much more when people see the passion, you believe in what you're selling, and there's something exactly for what they want to do as far as walking into the gym. It's going to become so much simpler to sell personal training.
They see the results of that is all. Like what the reason why people do training, because I'm still a trainer, but it was more like they were so happy. They were coming in with a goal. And like, I love what Anthony said, how they'll stay, right? You don't want attrition, but when you give somebody and they come in and they see that transformation in their own body and their own life, and you've helped instill that in them, right? Through then they're like, man, I want to stay here. Like these people believed in me. They helped me get to where I needed to go. So training does kind of add that extra like fire to like your gym anyway. I think just as a trainer myself, I know that it really does make people like feel a loyalty to your gym.
Yes. They're preaching. Their family members want to know what you've been doing. I've been working out at Iron City Gym. And they feel a family at your gym. Like your gym was the reason why I just lost 40 pounds and everybody's asking me what I'm doing. I'm going to shout you guys from the rooftops, you know? So it is, yeah, she's right. It's very important.
Yeah, I mean, we ironically, we've been accomplishing that just because of the culture here and the community. Yeah. You know what I mean? So I get a lot of people that are like, man, you know, I've gotten gains since I come here, you know, whatever the way you call it, you know, I've gotten gains, I've lost. But, you know, but that's been accomplished because of the community here and the culture and the facility itself, you know, and definitely the people. I mean, it's most definitely the members make your gym, you know, kind of thing. But yeah, I mean, I can imagine if we scaled up our training department, that would even contribute more, you know. But like you were saying, Anthony, like let's say I met with you and then I was like, hey, Anthony, how do I do personal training here? And you tell me. I'm still going to take what you tell me and I'm not going to do exactly what you said because I'm still going to make it my own, right? Yep. I still got to make it fit my model here. So I would say that, you know, and that's probably how I succeed, because if I just did exactly what you said, it might not really fit my model here. I've got to have a clear vision and know that I have to know my business, know my people, know what's going to speak to them, you know, or know what demographic am I going to pull in here and how is that going to relate to what I have going on. So it's like, if you just tell me what to do, and I just do exactly what you say, I don't think it's going to work as well as if I hear what you say, but then I'm like, okay, I'm going to do that, but I'm not going to do that, but I'm going to do what you said here, but I'm going to tweak it in this way. Yep. And you know what I mean? So you got to
believe in it. You have to make it to where you're 100% on board and you believe in what you're selling now.
Yeah. Yeah. Like be an authentic gym owner that's like really a creator of sorts, as opposed to just, you know, or do a franchise. You know what I mean? If that's not your thing, then I would say do a franchise. And a franchise lays everything out for you, how you should do it. And this is how you sell it. And there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. You know what I mean? Do that. Great. You could be a great businessman and probably do that. I probably wouldn't do well at a franchise because I'm a better creator than I am, you know, following the procedures. Yeah. You know what I mean? And that's not to say that one is better than the other. It's not. I mean, you know, we all do our skill sets. And I think I've gotten lucky enough to fall into something where I'm able to use my gifts and my capacity, you know, and that's all I can tell you is, you know, the way I've done things, but that's my gift and that's my skill set. Everybody has their own. And I think that's the secret to life, right? Is you got to go into where you fit in the best. You know what I mean? I mean, there could be, in other words, if I decide to franchise this gym right now, I might not be the right one to do that. But a person that can really line things out and procedures and really get that's probably who I need to. Might end up building an Iron City that does better than mine. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like, yeah.
Well, I'm trying to bring up topics that like a new gym owner is going to ask you.
Okay.
So
okay.
I'm thinking in my head, like if I'm watching this, I'm a new gym owner. This guy's 10x'd his gym and grew it to 130 plus a month revenue building gym. How are you? One of the main things is, how do I find people? How do I find good employees? So how would you say you were pretty successful? Where do you find your employees?
Well, as you know, they all, when they come in for interview, they all tell you exactly what you want to hear, right? And then I would say some of them work out and some of them don't. So, yeah, that's always a tough one. I do have a good team now. We have room for improvement for sure. You know what I mean? I think if I could hold more training with them, I could definitely get my team better. I think they're good, but I think they could be a lot better. But, but I don't hold weekly training right now. I do training probably once every 5 or 6 weeks. And I think I need to do that at least once every 2 weeks, to really motivate them, to really go over the basics again, to make them all rock stars at what they do. But I still tell them to be themselves. I'd still tell them, like, when I show them how to do a tour, I was like, this is how I want the tour done. I want you to start here. I want you to end here. These are the key points I want you to show them this machine here, because this place, that's a machine that makes us unique. Not everybody has this machine. I want you to show them the dumbbells, because we actually have dumbbells that go up to 200 pounds. Not every gym has that. So I want you to show them this. And these are things I want you to show them. These are required. And I said, but other than that, I want you to be you. And you talk the way you talk. Don't say it the way I would say it. So don't follow a script. You know what I mean? You speak your language. You know what I mean? The way you talk, be you. But you just need to make sure that you put these points in it.
Yeah, I like that. And it's also, those meetings are also good to help the gym make those numbers that you wanted to. So if let's say you guys are trying to cut down on your cancels, that's a great point to have that meeting. And in that meeting, while you're having your talk, it's say, hey, this month the goal is going to be decreasing cancellations. This is the number where we were at last month. We're going to re-meet at the end of the month and see if we were able to beat this number, or increase sales. Like, hey, we want to get to 150 sales this month, whatever your number is that correlates to how much you want to make, and you figure out that number of new membership sales. Those are also good to bring up on team meetings. Hey, this is where we've been at. We would like to, grow next month. And if we do, I'm going to give away a Best Buy gift card, or whatever the case may be. Those are all important things to bring up on team meetings as well.
Yeah, that's right. That's what I need to improve on, to be honest with you, because I feel like we do okay with that. But everything you said is like right where I'm at right now. I'm like, I got a good platform. We're making good money, but we're probably losing 30%. We probably got 30%. Maybe not losing 30%, but we got, I know I have 30% on the table.
Potential, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I think so. Potential, at least 20%. Like, I want to be at 150 a month. That's about what my goal is right now, to be at 150 revenue a month.
Once you get your training department there, you're 100% will get there. I have no question about that. So do you want to give us a tour of the facility? Like, show us around, like if you could point down towards the stuff to show us your layout and everything? Yeah, we can do that. Let's do it. Okay.
So plug it in here. Let me juice it up. It probably won't take long. This is a good charger.
Okay.
And then, or else it's going to die. So let's take it.
Yeah, no worries. No worries at all.
It's been out for a long time. I was going to say, though, from what Anthony was saying, how he said, oh, you have, how do you find good employees? You did, I guess you don't really have a way. You don't have a method. You're saying it's kind of hit or miss.
So for example, I would want you big time at the desk. Like, your vibe, the way you talk, you like give energy. Like, I always feel good when I talk to you. Like, straight up, just to give you a compliment, you have like this Yes, like your disposition like brings joy. Like you're awesome. Like you have one of the best vibes. Like first time I talked to you, I was like, oh my God, I love talking to this girl. Like you're awesome. Like your energy, like how you're smiling right now. That's my person at the front right there. Like if you were giving me anything, Jim, I want to talk to you. Like you're making me feel good just to talk to you.
Well,
You know
I
what I
don't want
mean?
to work out at your gym now because I'm like, you're making me feel so good. I'm like, I need to go work out there because I'm like, okay, thanks, Brian.
Yeah. But that's what I do. I just pick people that I think, bring something that, you know what I mean? Like I like their look or I think they're cool or whatever, which scares me because if I ever did scale up, then it's like I have to have a manager that really has that sense, because that's what I do. I just kind of hire people based on certain things, you know what I mean? And it's like you just feel it out,
So qualifying them, you're saying you like them, but whether they're and you know where you would put them, but qualifying them, you want to bring someone else in for that to make it.
I don't. Yeah, because I barely even look at the resumes of people. Like when they hand me the resume, I barely look it over. Like every now and then I'll look at one and I'll be like, okay, like I've got this one guy now and he's got a lot of experience at other gyms. So I'm like, you know what? I like this guy. I'm going to bring him in. But I really kind of go off my gut and how I feel about the person. You know what I mean? So, yeah.
Would you say you had more success hiring within your own member base or people just walking through the door so far, what you've seen?
So far, I have only hired people from my member base. That was always my platform. I was always like, I hire people that work out here because they know the gym. Now, I have come to a crossroads where I am entertaining the idea, and I think there's some value in bringing people in from other places that aren't part of the, there might be some value in there from bringing people outside, especially if they're a manager or something, because they're not friends with everybody, But I guess if everything's been working for me pretty well so far, yes, I've only hired people from my member base because they know the gym. And I also have this little speech with them every time I hire somebody. I'm like, hey, man, why do you want to work here? And then, and they said, I was like, you work out here, right? I was like, do you love the gym? They're like, yeah. I was like, because I love this gym, dude. I was like, I would want you to work here because you love Iron City. Like, and if you don't, then that's cool. But there's plenty other places that you could work that probably pay more than here. So don't work here if you don't love it. Like, honestly, like, just don't. Like, do us all, like, work here because you think this place is badass and that you think this is this is the coolest gym. And if you don't think it is, then, like, don't work here. Like, seriously, like, that's what I want. I want people that, like me, that think, like, I want you to think this is a badass gym. Obviously, you come here and they're like, dude, I love this gym. Like, okay, cool. That's what I want, Plain and simple, because you can work anywhere. So I don't want it to be one of those jobs that you're here just to make a paycheck because, I pay my employees about what the average pay is. I mean, I pay them good. We're definitely more toward the middle of the upper of what the going rate is, but, I don't pay minimum wage. I mean, I pay them a good amount. I take care of them.
Mm-hmm.
But
that's good advice then. Hire within your member base.
Yeah.
I guess it's working so far. I mean, there's some cons to it because they might be, I don't know. I mean, I think it's working. I mean, I do want them to love the gym. I want them to know the gym and be able to essentially take care of the house and not it be some foreign place to them, So I think it's working.
Okay. Excellent. Well, we're going to have you back on for after you're done with the personal training to regroup to see how the difference was with actually creating a personal training program in place. And I think it's really important to know, like you said, I'm going to eventually have a manager. Well, so I think where a lot of owners tend to fail with getting managers is they try to make like a duplicate copy of them. And it's never going to happen. You're never going to make another you. You can only make them be the best of their ability of what they can be. And once you realize that, then you really can expect you're going to get what what you come to expect. If you think that, they're going to be me when I'm not here, you're going to be sadly mistaken. It just doesn't happen.
That's awesome you said that so I do have a manager now. I have a guy that I promoted to manager about 2 or 3 months ago. And he's doing pretty good. He's a young guy. He's got a great attitude. He's a go-getter. Anything I ask him to do, he's like, I got it. So he's definitely wants to, is moldable and everything. So, I'm bringing him from the bottom up. So I'm not bringing in a manager that has a lot of experience that have to pay more. I'm moving this guy from the bottom up. But that was one of the problems that I first encountered. It's funny you say that, is he was trying to be me. And I could start seeing it. And I was like, even when my girlfriend even told me, she was like, he's trying to be you, Brian. And he was trying to do some of the things that I would do and trying to like, hey, I think you should do this, and trying to create ideas and stuff like this. And then his manager task, he was slipping on, you know what I mean? And then I was like, so I had to pull him in for a meeting, and I told him, I said, hey, I'm going to say his name. I was like, let me redirect you a little bit. I was like, I appreciate, and I said, I don't need another me. There's not room for another me. I already take care of that job. I take care of that job. What I do, I need you to shift and be this way. You know what I mean? Because at the time I had my girlfriend in here helping a lot, because she's got a lot of experience managing and facilitating things. So she was kind of coming in here, kind of helping out a little bit as sort of like a consultant would, you know what I mean? And I was like, I need you to be like Melissa, not me. And because she's doing what I need you to do. So it's kind of like I had to recognize that and really shift him. And he's like, okay, because you're right. He thought he needed to be me.
Yeah. It doesn't happen. It can't happen.
No, that's my job. That's what I do. That job's not available. You know what I mean? Not to mention that's what I do. So I need you to be my counterpart. Yeah. And to basically enforce, you need to enforce the procedures that I put into effect, and then do that side of the house. You know what I mean? But it's true. It's funny you say that, because it's kind of like they automatically think they need to be you.
Yeah. So did you have any other questions, Natalia? Because I was curious about like the social media aspect. I know we brought up TikTok and Instagram, but is there one that you really drive hard at that's always gets updated? And do you have your front desk girls, or do you do it?
No, so I run the social media completely. I run it. So like I said, I rely on other people to create the content, but I run it.
Okay.
So
gotcha.
I'm not ready to turn that over yet. One day I might, but I have to really trust that person, because man, that to me, that is so important, because that's where everybody looks. So I'm not ready to give that to somebody. You know what I mean? That's going to be a real trusted position when I say, okay, you now control the social media. Are you kidding me? Like so we built this gym on social media a lot. I'm not going to lie. We use that as our number one marketing tool. You know what I mean? And I mean, that's the way the world goes. It's 2023 right now. And I, especially as a business owner, it's a pretty big deal in my book, so I would definitely not, turn that over to somebody that I didn't, really think that they knew how to do it, and they had my vision, and they're willing to be my voice 100%. So I rely on other people to create the content. And I hire videographers. Now, a lot of times when I'm making the videos, it's either me talking, or I help direct sometimes if I have a vision on it, or other times I just let them say, hey, I need you to go find an inspirational story out there. Just find somebody and like do a cool video. You know what I mean? But I also pick the people. I pick the videographers, and I get to know them and stuff like that. But I post it, and I run it. So that just means I'm on it, and I just post it, and that kind of stuff.
I know some gyms have rules where they're like, oh, you can't film. But I mean, like you just said, it's 2023. Everybody's on Instagram. Everyone's on some type of social media. The people that did just get involved in the gym, or have always been involved in the gym, like to show their journey in working out, or maybe they have a channel that helps people work out. So do you have a designated space in your gym where you allow people to film themselves working out? And would you, as a new owner, if they're watching this, would you tell somebody, yes, 100% allow that, because it's free marketing when you have, your gym name all over the place?
That's what I would do. I mean, I mean, the truth of the matter is you legally, you can video somebody anywhere out there. Like people, I mean, that's how paparazzi does it. I mean, I can actually stand in front of you and video you.
Sure.
And, I mean, it's legal, you can't video people in the bathrooms and stuff like that. So, as far as I understand it, there's, I mean, I can, in my business, I could set a no video policy. I absolutely could. I mean, I can do that. But I haven't, and because I think that most people are okay with it. I mean, if nobody's like videoing you. I mean, if it became a problem, like where people were videoing other people against their will, but nobody really does that. I did have that problem one time with a guy that was being a creep. You know what I mean? And he was like videoing like girls and stuff like that, and then the females came up and told me. And so, I did put on my rules, some stuff about, being respectful of others and all this kind of stuff. And then I personally address it. So then I personally, anytime there's an altercation in the gym, or somebody who feels like they've been, someone's creeping them out or something like that, or there's a fight or a possibility, I take care of that personally. So I meet with that person and I let them know real quick that ain't going to happen in here. And here's your one warning. And if it happens again, I'm going to kick you out. Plain and simple. So, and I do that. We had a fight in here the other day too, actually. Matter of fact, it didn't turn into a fight, but I turned into a push and shove. And I suspended him, and I said, "Look, you're not going to fight in my gym." I said, you can do anything you want, not in the parking lot, but because that's my gym too. But I do personally take care of those matters. You know what I mean? And I call them personally, and I tell them to come meet me up here, and I take that real seriously, especially the girls in the gym. Those are my highest priority, to make sure that females feel comfortable. So if you're a creep, if you're a guy that's a creep, I will kick you out. So straight up. And I'll tell the guy that, I'll be like, look, I'm not going to have a gym full of nothing but guys because you're being a creep. Like straight up, I'm not going to do it. So you can either learn to be like, socially okay and not be a creep, or else I will cancel your membership. I hope you understand that. That's
awesome. So the whole gym's fair game if I wanted to record my whole workout. Yeah, that's why I was just asking is would you designate just like an area that doesn't have mirrors that you can film at, or the whole gym's fair game?
No, the whole gym's fair game. Yeah. And then, like I said, if you're being a creep, we'll identify that. We have complaint forms. Anybody has a complaint, fill out a form. So I have it documented. And if I've got a member that's got two or three, usually the weirdos will they'll get flagged. They don't blend in too long. You know what I mean? They kind of identify themselves like, hey, I'm a problem, eventually, because you'll have a couple complaints. And I think every gym owner, you already know this, that's just part of the game. You're going to have some weirdos. You're going to have some creeps. You're going to have people that are just a-holes, and you know what I mean? But I tell you what, I've been pretty successful at either curtailing them, or sometimes I had a guy one time who got in a fight with his girlfriend here, and I could have just completely kicked him out. But I actually pulled him in my office. I said, bro, check it out. I said, I get it, man. I've been in relationships where, it can get a little bit argumentative and everybody's heated. I said, but you can't do that in my gym, bro. I said, that's the thing. I said, you can't do it in here. I said, and if that, so I need you to chill out on this. And I need you to not be going up to every girl, asking her for her phone number and stuff like that. 'Cause you're making them feel uncomfortable, man. And I was like, I get it. We got a lot of pretty girls in here. Trust me. If I was single, I'd probably want to be talking to them all too. But you're making them feel uncomfortable, man. So that's not working for you. So I need you to come in here and just work out. I was like, do you want to work out here still? And because if he was he didn't really care, I'd be like, okay, well, let's just go our separate ways now. But he was like, no, man, I really love this gym like this. I was like, cool. So I don't want to take that away from you, man. I love it. I like you personally. I think you're a cool dude. I do. But I think that you're making a lot of people feel comfortable. So uncomfortable. So and so I just kind of got on his level, and you know what? He's never caused me any problems since, and I did. And I've done the same thing with kids that, I had a kid steal from me one time, and I did the same thing. And I put him in the office. I said, "Hey," I said, "why would you steal from me?" I said, I'm a person, man, that owns this business, and you're stealing from me, why would you do that, and I got just personal with him, and he's like, "Man, I just made a stupid mistake. I'm sorry. I shouldn't have done that." I said, "Okay." And so I made him square up with me, and I said, "Look," I said, "I'm going to put your name on the thing." I said, "I don't want to kick you out." I said, and I kind of gave him a second chance, and all my employees were like, "Don't do it, Brian. Don't do it, Brian. He stole this and this and that." I said, "Well, I'm going to give him one more chance." And I did, and I never had a problem with him afterwards. I never had a problem with him. And it didn't happen every time. Sometimes I had a guy, you have your repeat offenders, and they just can't get it right. You know what I mean? Whatever. They're just bad apples, and they get kicked out. But most of the time, I try to stay in touch with what's going on out there, and then I try to talk to people and give them a chance to maybe curtail their behavior a little bit. And they get a chance from me, and I used to get a lot of flack from my employees, but I feel like 80% of them actually, after they got that talk, they actually changed their behavior, and they ended up being one of our biggest promoters for the gym.
Sure. Absolutely.
Yeah. I had a guy who was an ex-Marine, and he claims all this PTSD and stuff like that, and he probably has it. And he was aggressive with other people. And then, and he's tried to start a fight in here, and we pulled him aside, me and my manager. And he was like, "Man, I haven't been able to find a gym that I've been able to fit in, and this and that." And, we kind of talked to him. We said, "Look, we had to be tough with him too. We said, "Look, that ain't going to fly. You can't, you cannot do that here. There will be no aggression here." And blah, blah, blah. And man, now he's like totally cool. He's never had any problems. And he's like one of my biggest promoters. He posts the gym, promotes the gym and all that stuff, Well,
you didn't just kick him out, because if a lot of people would have just kicked him out, but what that would do? A guy like that, he would have spent the next week probably just going online and trashing you on Facebook or Yelp or something like that. So the fact that you gave him a second chance and he did, do it, he's now, like you said, promoting the gym.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but if he breaks that second chance, then I do have to kick him out. I do got to follow him. That is that thing that because I remember in the beginning, I used to I'd kind of stress of it. Oh God, I got to deal with this, because nobody wants to deal with that. It's very confrontational. You got to, kick out a member, stuff like that. And so I have to force myself to do it. Now I'm pretty comfortable with it. You know what I mean? Because I've dealt with it. So it's like anything you do, you're going to get more comfortable with it. You're going to get better at it. You know what I mean? You just have to do it. It's like public speaking, right? You're afraid of it, but the more you do it, the better, more you're comfortable with it. I used to be nervous about getting in front of the camera and talking about the gym. Now I love it. I'm good at it. But it's like you just got to force yourself to do it. So that is part of gym ownership. And that is you're going to have to handle the problem people. You're going to have them.
Oh, yeah.
What would you say is your most difficult situation that you've had to deal with, talking to an issue that has come up that you had to deal with, and how did you deal with it?
Plus, I have dreadlocks and tattoos, so if I just come at them crazy sometimes. Look, bro, don't be acting crazy, man. You know what I mean? Yeah. And I have big bodybuilders too that work out here. And if I feel like I need one of them to talk to somebody with them,
free security.
Yeah. We'll get a little gangster on you if we have to. Got it. Here we go.
Okay. Sweet.
Oh, and sound like that. Kind of got my
nice. Get your car
Iron City truck.
Oh.
We're going to approach it from the outside here.
Oh, nice.
I've got some construction still going on, so some stuff I probably won't want to show too much. But see, again, how I made it my own. See, this was the old entrance back here. But see, that's me. That's my bag there. So we took it back when I was competing and stuff. So I made the gym my own as soon as I got it. You know what I mean? I started putting I started branding it, making it my own.
Gotcha.
Because it wasn't like that when I bought it, So it's it was there the way they did it. So I bought it and decided I'm gonna make it my own, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
It's a big location.
Yeah, it looks huge. How many square feet is it?
About 20,000.
Wow. Good size.
Nice.
So everything that's black is Iron City.
Wow. Oh, it's kind of slow. It's kind of.
So when we started out, it was just this little right here. But then that was the entrance. So now we have this big entrance.
I see.
That's awesome.
So where you showed us that little door was, that used to be the entrance, and now
that used to be the entrance, yeah.
Oh wow, I love the giant logo.
That's our show that we're doing. What up, Scott? That's Scott. He's one of my main trainers. He's an IFB pro. We're doing a podcast. Okay. So, anyways, that's who I'm doing the bodybuilding with. So this is our new area here. We've got this is where we're gonna put the smoothie shop in. We're working on some electrical issues. What's up, bro? You getting it figured out, man?
Yeah, I said right now.
Okay.
My brother, excellent for you.
Okay, I'll come back and talk to you in just a second. Okay. So we're gonna put the smoothie bar here. We kind of just made this little hangout area. This lobby is awesome. I love it. So all of our pictures that we did for our artwork, it's all like pictures of the gym. So we don't use anything generic. Like everything's like cool pictures. And I just kind of a good photographer. I like this style. So that's where our apparel is. We're kind of revamping all this. Let's see.
Your front desk.
Yeah. What's up, Brandon? What's going on? All right. Okay. We're training a new guy.
I like that I saw the towel thing on there. So you make people bring a towel or they have to buy one?
Yeah. Right. So this is how we're signing out the towels now. And then they hand you a towel. And then when you're done, turn it in here and cross your name off the list. If not, Brandon will text you in the morning and tell you you're getting charged $3. Awesome. So, like I said, here's our apparel. We're kind of working on expanding all this. That's for the girls. This shirt's really cool. I like this one.
I like that.
Yeah.
Smart.
Yeah. Okay, so what up, Hector? What's going on, man? All right. Okay, so let's go in the gym. So we got bathrooms back there. And see, again, all of our artwork is our stuff. I don't use anything that's like a generic thing. Everything I branded with our own stuff.
Yeah, even the photos. That's awesome.
So we're working on some electrical stuff right now. So we got this is really cool in the floor.
Nice.
Good.
What's up, man? How you doing?
I like it spaced out.
Wow. Can't say there's not enough equipment, right? That's not a reason to cancel there.
Yeah, you got every kind of machine. That's amazing.
So you notice all the lighting is kind of so here's a bunch of people that like competed here.
Awesome. Is that like the posing mirror where people take their selfies?
Yeah.
Okay, so I guess I'll start from one end because it's pretty big. So here's our outdoor area.
Oh,
now,
awesome.
Jeff, originally when I bought it, only stopped right here. So it stopped right here. And then we took on this side and I got turf. And then we kind of created an outdoor gym out here. Originally, I was going to call it Muscle Beach, like Venice, like Gold Venice Beach or whatever. But we just kind of, so here's the cardio room that's over here.
Wow.
Yeah.
And then check this out. This is our posing room. So this is really cool. And then we got cool lighting in here.
Nice.
And here's the posing. What's up, Taylor? We're doing a podcast, man. You want to be the star of the show?
Welcome to Jim Moore's podcast.
You're not even standing in the middle, though, where the lighting is. He's competing in our show coming up.
Awesome.
Oh, look at him go.
Real lat spread.
Yeah, let's see it. Nice. Yeah.
So we have the mirrors so you can see your back through the. Yeah.
Very
That's
cool.
awesome.
So,
Yeah.
but this room is really cool. We got, we're kind of got a little notoriety because of this poster in here. So, pretty cool though. That's a cool room.
Yeah.
But like I said, you know, the roots of this gym is in competition and bodybuilding. So I would say if someone doesn't know that world and that's not where they come from, then don't do that, because you know what I mean? Like, do what, you know, you gotta, like for other gym owners, like you gotta do what you know how to do. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You gotta do what your background is. And, you know, I just did what I know how to do. So.
Yeah. I like that. You still made a space for them though.
I mean, this gym could be for anybody, though. I mean, if I was wanting to lose weight, I could totally do what I need to do at this gym. It has everything.
Yeah, it has everything. Definitely. I like how you spaced it out. I mean,
wow.
Every machine. Yeah, set up really clean too. Definitely like a trainer's paradise.
Oh yeah, that's definitely a trainer's paradise.
Oh, they're even there.
Wow, keeps going.
So this is the lower body side, yeah.
What? Dang.
Indoor turf area.
Wow.
Pipe.
All right, I'll walk back out with the
Poppy. Very cool though. Yeah, that's a giant space.
Hey, Ryan. What's up?
Hello.
Hey.
All right, well, that was it. You know, I just love it, and I put my passion into it, and I built what I thought is cool, and I hire people that know how to do what I need to do. Yep. And other than that, man, that's all I got for you. You know, it might not be the answer that you want to hear, you know, but it's
it is. Keep it simple is my number one recommendation. Is keep it simple, believe in what you sell, and sell yourself. Those are my 3 recommendations for a new gym owner.
Yeah,
perfect.
How you love it. So no, that was good answer. It was good answer. It was what has worked clearly for you. Like it's a love of it, and that shines through. So yeah, that's really cool.
Sweet.
Right on.
All right, guys.
All right, guys. Thank you.
Thanks, Brian.
We're gonna have you back on once you got your personal training all sorted.
And your smoothie bar.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
We'll
all right. Bye, everyone.
Bye, guys.